Alright, so today on the bench, I've got a Fender Blues Junior. They are the most popular tube amp in the world, and they are just as beloved by players as they are hated by techs. Let's talk about why. Alright, so inside the Blues Junior, we have a combination of penny pinching and planned obsolescence. So today I will be addressing the planned obsolescence more so than the penny pinching. So what I'm going to change today are just three resistors. So here, this is R52 and R51. And so R52 is a 22K, R51 is a 33K, and these guys create a voltage divider which sets the bias for the power tubes. And the issue here is that they're just too hot. The 22K makes it about a 70 to 80% plate dissipation with EL84s, and so the Blues Juniors have a tendency to go through tubes very quickly, which ends up costing the owners a lot of money and a lot of headaches in the long run. So all I'm going to do is swap out R52 for 33K, and that will cool the bias off without really changing the tone all that much. And the other thing that I'm going to show you guys, and this is a big one that is just ridiculous. I don't know why Fender's done this. So this will focus. All right, R36 and R35. So these are the screen grid resistors for the EL84s, and these are just completely wrong for the power tube screen resistors. So first of all, these are 1/2 watt each, and so in a big power tube amp, anything that's powered by like EL34s or 6L6s, you want these to be at least 2 watts, and if the amp is quality, they're going to be 5 watts. And the other thing is that these are 100 ohms, and that is another thing. It just does not provide enough protection to the tubes, and it contributes to early tube failure. Now, in vintage Fenders, these are usually 470 ohms, so almost 5 times this rating, and in like a good modern amp, these will be like 1K 5 watts. And so I'm going to be swapping these out for 1K 2 watts, and that will, once again, extend the tube life and not really change the sound in any meaningful way. So I got the board out, and now the only thing left to do is replace those resistors. All right, and we're done. So changed out this guy for a 33K, which will cool down the bias and help with the tube life. The other thing that will help the tube life is I swapped these resistors. Here's what was in here before. And so this is a 1/2 watt, 100 ohm screen grid resistor, which is just unacceptable, should absolutely never be done. These are 1 watt, 1K screen grid resistors, which will add considerably more protection for the tubes and extend the life. And another thing I did is just remove the spade connectors from the speaker outputs and just solder them directly to the board. And there are other things that I could do. These IC caps are usually good candidates for replacement. However, in this case, they're not leaking or anything, so I'm just going to leave them. I could also swap out the jack for Switchcraft. That's a pretty common mod. I'm not going to do that today. And the last thing I'm just going to do, or the last thing I did, this might seem like a minor thing, but it actually makes a big difference, is pushing these ribbon cables in, because they're usually kind of like these guys. But the problem is that you have these cables, which are feeding signal, and then these cable, and then that's crossing with this, which is the B plus for the power tubes, which is about 300 volts. And that, when you have these really close together, it just creates a lot of noise, and you can literally just cut down considerably on the noise on Blues Junior by pushing these ribbon cables in like so. It works.